Hi guys, it's Martha. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So the last video I posted was my 75 hard video. I believe I was pretty early on in the challenge still. I don't even remember at this point because it's been a little while since I've done a YouTube video. Okay, yeah, so that was a month ago and I think that was at the beginning. I just finished before my friend's bachelorette party. Okay, so I did a post on my Instagram showing my before and after. This is my before photo and this is my after photo. Before we delve into like the looks or anything here, I just want to put out the disclaimer that that was not really the main reason why I wanted to try 75 hard. More than anything, I wanted to challenge myself. Okay, so let's get into the why I decided to do this challenge. There's a few different reasons. I went through a big season of change in my life. I was living with my previous partner. We were together for like 4.5 years and we just had a shift in our relationship. I ended up moving into my own apartment. I was feeling settled in my life and things were going good and I was feeling good with my job, and I was like, you know what, I put a lot of focus into my job. I really love working out. I kind of want something that's gonna give me a sense of purpose and a challenge outside of the workplace. Scotty, my previous partner, he really liked doing 75 hard. He'd done it a few times and I always watched him do it. Stood by his side, but I was just like, I don't think I want to do it. Since I moved to a really walkable neighborhood, I found I was already walking a lot. I found I was working out almost every day. I had gotten really into working out in the last year. So both those were already hit. I eat pretty healthy. I was like, you know what? I think I could easily do this. Let's give it a whirl. And I just kind of decided one day I was gonna start, and so I started. Okay, so what is 75 hard? 75 hard has specific challenges. This guy, Andry Friscella, is the one who started it. You have to work out twice a day, 2 45-minute workouts a day. One of them has to be outside. You have to drink a gallon of water. You have to take a progress photo. You have to read 10 pages a day. You create some sort of diet for yourself, and you cannot have alcohol. From that, I will say I wanted to make this video so I could go into more depth about how I did it. It's funny because people who are diehard Andry Friscella followers, and he himself, will say you cannot change this program at all. If you do, you are not completing it. Me personally, I almost did it exactly as he said, but I will get into my few shifts that I made for myself, and I think that's totally okay. I do see on TikTok people will take the challenge and they totally recreate it and turn it into something else. I think if you're totally turning it into a whole new concept, that's cool. People usually give it like a different name, which I think is more beneficial because it can be confusing to also call it 75 hard if you're doing completely different tasks. But the general idea of this challenge is to follow those original tasks that I just shared. The thing that I will say for me, technically I did fail. I forgot one of the progress photos at one point. I was, I think, day 40, something around there. Technically, Andry Friscella would say you failed, you have to start over. I had already made it this far, and personally, the photo is not really part of what I wanted to challenge myself on. I'm an influencer, I take photos all the time. I didn't really feel like I broke the challenge because I forgot the photo. I was still doing everything else, so I kept going, but just wanted to put that out there so no one come for me. I also did not specifically track my water to a T. I drink a lot of water, but I did not specifically count it every single day. And then for my second 45-minute workout, most of the time that was simply walking. But when I say walking, I mean a brisk pace. I mean an athletic walk. I do not mean a slow look at your phone, walk your dog while it sniffs everything walk. This is a walk that was for me. I'll throw on a podcast, my hokas, go outside, get some sun, and go on a brisk walk. Other days, I would say I mixed it up and I did like restore yoga class at Yoga 6, or just a more low-key yoga class, maybe like hot yoga on top of a workout, because sometimes yoga can feel more like a stretch than a workout. It kind of depends where you're at as a woman, depends on your hormone cycle. all the things. Okay, and then for the diet, I pretty much already eat fairly clean. I did have a goal to eat my weight in protein. If you are unaware of this, it's kind of the common thing you hear behind like nutritionalists and other people, that you should be eating your weight in protein per day. So that would be grams. I weigh like almost 130. I'm just gonna round up to 130. My goal was to have 130 grams of protein per day. I downloaded the MyFitnessPal app and I was tracking everything. I will say I was pleasantly surprised in the beginning because I had never tracked my protein before, but I was doing a pretty good job of already hitting that goal. So just tracking it helped me stay on top of that and get a better grip about what I'm eating and how many grams of protein everything I consume has. A few things that I ate a lot and still eat are Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, a lot of eggs, turkey bacon, chicken breasts, salmon, protein powder, protein bars, sardines, just easy stuff like that. I kind of eat on repeat. I'll just go for the same thing. It makes it easier on me, but I do have to mix it up. And then I'm pretty boring. I just make like plain chicken breast or lemon chicken breast, and then a vegetable and a potato on the side. That was my general diet. I did have a few desserts throughout the challenge, and that was my personal choice to do it that way because I know I've already been living a pretty healthy lifestyle. I allowed myself to consume a few things. Like my friend had a wedding and she had an ice cream bar and I had ice cream. I will say that alcohol and no drinking was way easier than I thought. It really made me realize you don't need alcohol to have fun. It's such a social thing. Like everyone thinks they need to drink when they hang out and thinks it makes them better. When you're sober and you're watching people that are drunk, you have full realizations of like, this is so dumb. Just watching them, how they're acting, what they're saying, it's so silly. And you wake up the next day and you feel amazing. You have no hangover. It's actually really empowering to realize you can hang out with people and just be totally fine. Another challenge I had with alcohol was I went on a friend's bachelorette party. We went to Scottsdale. That was intense. I will say the second time I went to Scottsdale, I had a better experience, but we had a whole different club experience the second time compared to the first time. The bars there are very loud. They're very overstimulating. I don't do well with overstimulation anyways. It can be a lot for me, so being sober and then being overstimulated at the same time was definitely a lot. Okay, let's answer some questions. So I'm just gonna go through a few and give some answers, and I think there was also a few on my hard post on Instagram. So the first one is, how often did you do Pilates as part of your fitness routine for 75 hard? Maybe 25%. I definitely was doing Pilates more in the beginning. I like a slower traditional Pilates class in comparison to something like solid core. Solid core is a little bit intense and I find it kind of gives me lower back pain. But Pilates, I have a place I really like called Body Process, and that was like the main Pilates studio I was going to. And then I did mat Pilates for my friend Remy. She has a platform called Core that it has great Pilates workouts, great mat workouts. So at home, if I didn't have time to go to the gym, I would throw on her video and just use like Bala equipment, whatever I have at home. The next question is, what 2 45-minute workouts did you do per day? So like I said earlier, walking was pretty much always the second, or potentially a yoga class as the second, but I would say walking, brisk walk was the second workout 90% of the time, or like a hike, which is pretty much the same thing. And for the first workout, my usual would be like lifting at the gym and then a 45-minute workout. I stay at the gym for a long time. I'm usually there like an hour and a half to 2 hours. So I would do that and then I would do the workout, and I just have a split where I usually hit legs like 3 times a week, and then I'd hit upper body twice. Someone said, can you smoke weed on 75 hard? I want to say yeah, because I changed my rules a little bit. I tweaked them. I think weed is an alcohol, so I think you should continue doing it, but that's also up to you and however you want to adjust 75 hard for yourself. Not saying you should make huge adjustments though, because I think they really should be minimal. How did you handle it with travel days? It was kind of challenging. I'm going to use travel days as maybe the days I was actually going to the airport. I didn't have too early of flights, so I got kind of lucky. And then when I went to Arizona, I actually brought bands with me so I could use those for the workout, and it worked great. I'm pretty sure I just used like ankle bands, and it made it much easier to get in. Did you pick your own daily goals or did you follow the original ones? Kind of funny because that's like the overhanging dark cloud of this conversation is like, did you stick with it or not? I feel like I explained that earlier, so I pretty much did follow all the original ones. I just made a few tweaks. There's nothing that I skipped, nothing that I completely changed. Tips for getting the 2 45-minute workouts in. I would say scheduling. I'll probably do this challenge again and make it harder and like switch up the 2 45-minute workouts to like starting to do a workout outside. I don't have a great outdoor workout space here, but if I had one, I'd probably do that. Maybe like yoga outside and then gym inside, whatever, flip-flopped. Just so you're not walking every day, like to make more of a challenge. Spread them out. I like to walk in the evening if I worked out in the morning, or if I did a class in the morning. It was really easy to knock out because, you know, you show up, the instructor walks you through the whole thing, and then you're done, you go home, and you don't even have to think about it. So I would break it up, so I knocked the workout out in the morning, and then maybe I'd work for a while, and then you hit the point of, oh, I really need to go outside, and then I would do the workout. How much did it cost you, like memberships, special diet costs, classes, etc.? I would say I probably spend a good amount of money on groceries, because every time I go to the grocery, it's like anywhere from 85 to like 130. And I was going to the grocery maybe like every 10 days. Protein is more expensive, unfortunately, but it was worth it. And then my gym membership was like, it's $46 a month, but I've been paying that for a long time. And then ClassPass now, you can get a discount if you have Kaiser, and I think ClassPass I pay like $35, $40, something like that every month. But before I did have it for free because I was working with them as an influencer. And the last question I'm gonna answer was, what advice would you give to someone who is thinking of doing 75 hard? I would say you should just go for it. That's kind of what I did. I just decided last minute, fuck it, let's try. And if you fuck up, you can always start over and do it again. I think it's better to just try it rather than be afraid of it. But I wanted to make this video to just clearly state how I did it, because on Instagram, it's really easy to just be like, I did 75 hard, and for someone to think like, wow, she's so strict. I wanted a mental challenge. I did the 2 workouts a day, I did the dieting, all that jazz. I didn't drink, and it was great. I think my biggest takeaway from it was that you have more time in the day than you think. It definitely was great for scheduling and making time for myself. I would say the biggest challenge was having people in town visiting. Like, I had my mom here and I had my sister here. Luckily, I have people in my life that support me and were committed to supporting me. My mom joined me on every walk. I think a big key takeaway from the entire challenge was that it's okay to prioritize yourself. And a lot of times you'll feel better when you do, because at least for me, I felt I was catering to my own needs. It's really important to me to have time by myself, time for my own thoughts, my own space. And a huge thing for me is time outside, and just having those walks that I could count on, 45 minutes solid a day of being outside, really helped my focus. It really helped me zone in on work when I needed to. It was a great way for me to disconnect from everything. Overall, I was very pleased with my results with the challenge. Again, here is the before and after. I definitely want to try it again and make it a little bit more challenging later on. This was like the perfect intro for me. That was my experience. If you guys did it, let me know in the comments how it was for you. I'd love to chat, and you can find me on Instagram at Martha Yeoman, and I will see you guys soon.